Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, the Houston Texans will play the Kansas City Chiefs Saturday football against the Kansas City fraudulent Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, boy, this is going to be a good one. And I just realized I'm not sure. I want to say Chris Collinsworth is calling this game, and I really hope he's not. I don't know if he is or not. Because this game is going to be on NBC, but the NFL still has their Sunday night football game in Dallas on Sunday night. So I actually don't know if he's going to be calling this game. But if he is, oh boy, my ears are going to have a tough afternoon. I don't think he is. I'm pretty sure he isn't. But enough of Chris Collinsworth. I'm giving him too much attention. And he gives the Chiefs too much attention. But this will be one hell of a game. Say what you want about the Chiefs. I think they're the worst 13-1 team to ever walk into history. But even though they're, I think, a terrible 13-1 team, I still think they're a good team. When you have Patrick Mahomes on your team, you're a good team. I don't think they're 13-1 good, but I think they're even though they've been, I think, bailed out in some games, had massive luck in some games, they still have enough talent to the point where if some of the losses happen, some of the losses that should have happened for them happen, they'd probably still be in the playoffs. But they're not 13-1 good, if we're going to be honest. I think they're more at the Texans level, to be honest. Like, the Texans are 9-5, right? Yeah. Texans are 9-5. I think they're more of that type of team. They're a playoff team, but I think they're more of the Texans type playoff team. I think like people put them up with the teams like they're as good as Buffalo or they're as good as Pittsburgh. No, I think they're more of like with the Texans and the Ravens and the Broncos and the Chargers. They're not on the Bills or Steelers level, if you ask me. So, but I think it's going to be an intriguing matchup. Anytime you have a game with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and you have on the Texans end their defense with Derek Stingley Jr. playing the way he's playing recently, or really all season, he's been phenomenal. And the defensive line, it's gonna be a good one. Mahomes is a little bit banged up, although I don't care. I already know if the Texans win this game, that's going to be a big excuse for Chiefs fans. Mahomes is banged up. Well, look, let's just go over the Texans injury report. That's what I wanted to get to, but that's my leading point to the Texans injury report. Chiefs fans, if you're listening, if they lose this game, let's not go to Mahomes is not 100%. Because literally, let's also, before I get to the Texans injury report, by talking about you cannot bring up Patrick Mahomes being injured. Patrick Mahomes has played good football injured. He literally won a Super Bowl with a screwed up ankle. So let's not act like this guy can't win a game injured. This guy has been amazing injured. So, but let's not act like if he loses one game injured when he literally won an entire Super Bowl with a screwed up ankle, that okay now it's he's not healthy. But now let's get to the Texans injury report. Starter, defensive tackle Foley Futukasi is out with an ankle injury. Starting center Juice Scruggs out with a foot injury. Christian Harris, stud linebacker, probably the best linebacker on this team, questionable with an ankle injury. And if Christian Harris is not the best linebacker on this team, the best linebacker on this team, Azeez Al-Shahar, out, suspended. A big reason why he got a huge suspension is because they didn't want him to go up against Patrick Mahomes. John Mechie, wide receiver 3, out with a shoulder injury. Cade Stover, backup tight end, stud, out, illness. Jalen Petrie, one of the best defensive players on this defense outside of Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. and Derek Stingley Jr., the best player in this defense. Jalen Petrie, out, IR, pec injury. Stephon Diggs, wide receiver 2, stud wide receiver, out, torn ACL. And there are many other injuries on the injury list, but those are the most important ones. I know the Chiefs have their injuries. Mahomes is not 100%. The Chiefs are without Rashee Rice, and they're without McCall Hardman as well, but that does not come close to the Texans' injuries at all. So, if the Chiefs do lose this game, you cannot use that excuse at all. The injuries are pretty bad for this Texans team going into this game. But yeah, I think that it will be a great game. Here's the thing: when getting to Mahomes' injury, I don't know if I actually like the Chiefs putting him on the field. I think it's dangerous. The Chiefs' offensive line has not been very great this year. Mahomes has found himself in some good pressure this year. And this is not the team you want with a bad offensive line and a bad ankle for Mahomes to have pressure. When you have Danielle Hunter, you have Will Anderson Jr. Unfortunately, you don't have Foley Futakasi, but you have Danico Autry. You have a stacked defensive line and a team that has been one of the best defensive teams this year. They're top 3 in sacks, top 3 in pressure allowed. So that is dangerous to put your star quarterback on the field, who's not 100% with an ankle injury going up against this defensive line. It is really dangerous. And I think when you're the Chiefs and you're in position to win a Super Bowl, I think this team is different when they're in the playoffs. So when you're in position to win a Super Bowl, right now you're in position to have a first round bye, which gets you one step closer to a Super Bowl. Why risk your best player? Because honestly, I don't want to see him get injured. I hate Patrick Mahomes, hate the Chiefs, but I'm not going to wish on someone to get injured. To be honest, I'm going to go back to that. I wouldn't be mad if he got injured, like if he got a little banged up. They ruled him out for the game. Texans won, beating Carson Wentz, and then it comes out, all right, Mahomes is okay. After the game, Mahomes is okay. He's going to be good to go next week. And the ankle looks like it's going to be getting better. I don't want any long-term injuries for Mahomes. Maybe if he goes down, in the first quarter and can't play the rest of the game, but then after the game he's okay. Okay, that's different. But I don't want any long-term affecting injuries, even if I don't like a player. And I am afraid that will happen for a guy who is not 100%, has a screwed up ankle, and has a bad offensive line going up against one of the best defensive lines in football that is top 3 in sacks and pressures allowed. So I'm worried for him tomorrow. I really am. But I also think that's going to be a good thing for our defense. But yeah, I want to get into something cool stat. The Texans are 3-0 on Saturday games in the recent history since I've been watching as a Texans fan. Now, in the 3 other games, we have different circumstances. Like last year, the Texans played the Colts. That clinched them the playoffs. So that's way different, and they won that game. And then before that, it was 2019 against the Bucs. So I remember that was a crazy game. They had like a pick 6 against Jameis Winston, which doesn't sound too surprising. Jameis Winston, 2019. I think it was a very close win against the Bucs. And then 2018 was a part of that huge winning streak with Deshaun Watson, and we beat them. So since I've been watching the Texans since 2016. I've been a Texans fan my whole life, since born in 2007. But I've been watching football since 2016, so I've been watching the Texans since 2016. And I believe there's been 3 Saturday games I've watched as a Texans fan, and they're 3-0. And each time they've played on Saturdays in those 3 years, they've made the playoffs. We already know that's going to happen. They've already clinched the playoffs this year. But we'll see. Does that Saturday win streak continue? They're 3-0. Can they prove that to 4-0 in the last 8 years on Saturday games? I hope so. It's going to be an interesting one. It's C.J. Stroud's first matchup against the Chiefs. Davis Mills had his shot in 2022. He couldn't do it. Although impressive that a very bad second-year Davis Mills could compete with the Chiefs like that. Deshaun Watson had his fair share of matchups against these Chiefs teams. Unfortunately, it's a heartbreaking one in the playoffs. Is the main reason why I want to see the Texans go out there tomorrow and whoop some Chiefs' butt with the playoff loss. But he also had another game that same season in Arrowhead where he came into Arrowhead and won the game. He also had a Sunday Night Football game before Mahomes' time against Alex Smith where he lost. So Deshaun Watson was 1-2 against the Chiefs. Davis Mills was 0-1. And this is C.J. Stroud's first chance against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and we'll see how that goes for him. I hope it is a 1-0 start for C.J. Stroud. He's going to have to make good throws. And please, Bobby Slowick, make good play calls. Let's not throw the ball in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. When you got Joe Mixon, one of the best runners in football, in your backfield. Like, that was so stupid against Miami, some of the 3rd down play calls by Bobby Slowick. I want to trust CJ. CJ is a great quarterback, but there's no need to, if it's look on the 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and 4, any higher than that, just trust CJ. Of course, I'm not going to say run with Joe Mixon on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, higher than that. And I'm not saying CJ Stroud can't complete a 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, but it feels so smarter to run the football on those short 3rd downs when you got Joe Mixon. And last week we did not see that happen. There was 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2s where you had multiple throws and bad throws too, bad play calls. And the Texans will not be the Chiefs tomorrow if they do that. You got to run the ball on those 3rd downs because not only will those be more successful, but when you're playing the Chiefs, you got to run the clock out. You got to get the clock moving, and that's going to be a way to do it is running the ball on those 3rd downs and not passing on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Texans-Chiefs game tomorrow at 12. Well, I said today going into the video because technically it is today. I'm recording this at 1 in the morning, so it's today or tomorrow, whatever you want to refer to. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section, and peace out. Go Texans.